So turn to next lecture, using academic sources, avoiding plagiarism. What are some effective ways to integrate sources and citations in your academic writing? First, understand your purpose and audience. Before you start using sources and citations, you need to have a clear idea of why and for whom you are writing. Different types of academic writing, such as essays, reports, reviews, or dissertations, have different purpose and audiences, and therefore different expectations for how you use sources and citations. For example, an essay may require you to analyze and evaluate multiple sources and present your own perspective, while a report may require you to summarize and synthesize factual information and present your findings. Similarly, different disciplines and fields have different conventions and preferences for how you cite sources and what kind of sources are acceptable. For example, a humanities paper may use more quotations and textual analysis, while a science paper may use more graphs and data. Therefore, you need to understand the purpose and audience of your writing and follow the guidelines and criteria of your assignment of publication. Second one, choose relevant and credible sources. Another important aspect of integrating sources and citations is choosing relevant and credible sources that support your topic and argument. Relevance means that the source is directly related to your research question, thesis statement, or main point, and it provides useful information, evidence, or insights that help you answer or illustrate it. Credibility means that the source is trustworthy, reliable, and authoritative, and it has been peer-reviewed, published, or verified by experts or institutions in the field. To choose relevant and credible sources, you need to conduct a thorough and crucial literature review using appropriate databases, keywords, and sources. You also need to keep track of your sources and citations using tools such as reference managers or citation generators to avoid losing or misusing them. Integrate sources smoothly and logically. Once you have chosen your sources and citations, you need to integrate them smoothly and logically into your own writing without disrupting the flow or coherence of your text. There are three main ways to integrate sources: quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Quoting means using the exact words of the source enclosed in quotation marks or indented as a block quote. Paraphrasing means rewriting the source in their own words without changing the meaning or content. Summarizing means condensing the main ideas or points of the source in a brief overview. Each method has its advantages and disadvantages depending on the purpose and context of your writing. Generally, quoting is useful when you want to highlight a specific, memorable phrase, support a claim, or analyze a text. Paraphrasing is useful when you want to simplify or clarify a complex or technical source or express it in your own voice. Summarizing is useful when you want to give an overview of a large or broad source or compare or contrast different sources. However, regardless of the method you use, you need to integrate sources smoothly and logically by introducing them with a signal phrase significance and thinking them to your own argument or point. The final step on integrating sources and citations is citing them correctly and consistently, following the rules and conventions of the citation style or format that you are using. So, In previous lectures, we have talked about different citation styles. Different citation styles or formats such as APA, MLA, Chicago, or Harvard have different rules and formats for how you cite sources in your text in your reference list of bibliography. For example, some styles use parenthetical citations while others use footnotes or endnotes. Some styles use author-date systems while others use numbers or symbols. Some styles have specific rules for different types of sources, such as books, articles, websites, or media. Therefore, you need to cite sources correctly and consistently using the appropriate style of format for your discipline, field, or publication, and following the guidelines and examples provided by manuals, handbooks, or websites. You also need to avoid common citation errors such as omitting or misplacing information, mixing styles of formats, or citing irrelevant or unreliable sources. Integrating sources and citations is a vital skill for academic writing. By following these tips and strategies, you can improve your ability to use sources and citations effectively, ethically, and confidently in your academic writing. Next question is, why do we use academic sources? Scholarly articles are the most credible sources you can find because of the rigorous peer-reviewed process. They are thoroughly researched, which means you can mine the article's bibliography to find other sources that might be useful for your paper. No matter what type or scholar you are, an excellent essay, article, or thesis requires sound and authentic sources. Using academic sources of information is imperative when writing a scholarly piece of writing. Statistics and evidence are the basis of any scholarly work. But unfortunately, not all sources are reliable or authentic, and it's sometimes challenging to figure out. Researchers use many methods and tools to complete their research. Using academic sources in scholarly research means that the importance and reliability of the research's foundation are sound and of paramount importance. Consumers of scholarly research only trust research that is made from the use of academic sources. The paper outlines the necessary caution around identifying specialist sources in the use of scholarly research and the consequences that poor judgment may entail in the preparation of academically valid research. From social and business research to searches and fields like genetics, medicine, law, and forestry, the importance of these areas of academic and professional research have long been recognized. Also, the importance attached to scholarly research and education, the business scholars' annual ranking, and the academic reputation enjoyed by academics. Since then, emphasis has been placed on stressing the importance of academic sources that underpins all effective in scholarly research. This can be a challenging area to communicate since students from secondary this can be a challenging area to communicate since students from secondary school receive insufficiently focused skills in the latest academic search tools and strategies which typically form the basis of their academic training when they reach the post-secondary level. Next question is, what is an academic source? Scholarly sources, also referred to as academic, peer-reviewed, or referred sources, are written by experts in a particular field and serve to keep others interested in that field up to date on the most recent research, findings, and news. What types of sources are used in academic research? There are many types of sources commonly used in research, and these include websites, books, journal articles, newspapers, encyclopedias. You'll likely use a variety of these sources throughout the research process, and the kinds of sources you use will depend on your research topic and the goals. So, synthesizing sources means comparing and contrasting the work of other scholars to provide new insights. It involves analyzing and interpreting the points of agreement and disagreement among sources. You might synthesize sources in your literature review to give an overview of the field of research, or throughout your paper when you want to contribute something new to existing research. You can find sources online using databases and search engines like Google Scholars, use Boolean operators, or advanced search functions to narrow or expand your search. For print sources, you can use your institution's library database. This will allow you to explore the library's catalog and to search relevant keywords. Lateral reading is the act of evaluating the credibility of a source by comparing it with other sources. This allows you to verify evidence, contextualize information, find potential weaknesses. So, as you cannot possibly read every source related to your topic, it's important to evaluate sources to assess their relevance. Use preliminary evaluation to determine whether a source is worth examining in more depth. This involves reading abstracts, prefaces, introductions, and conclusions. Looking at the table of contents to determine the scope of the work, consulting the index for key terms of the names of important scholars. So it's important to find credible sources and use those that you can be sure are sufficiently scholarly. Consult your institute library to find out what books, journals, research databases, and other types of sources they provide access to. Look for books published by respected academic publishing houses and university presses, as these are typically considered trustworthy sources. Look for journals that use a peer review process. This means that experts in the field assess the quality and credibility of an article before it's published. In academic writing, the sources you cite could be credible and scholarly.